we are looking at marine biology at the moment. So what we're going to do is a starfish. Okay, I particularly like this vision. Unfortunately my picture has a watermark on it, but I'm still going to use it and I'm going to put it on a beach. This is the starfish I'm going to use. I'm going to share this PowerPoint with you so you have access to it if you like. And the technique I'm looking at is how to put shadow in, but also how to create effects with watercolor paint. So if you have watercolor paint, awesome. If you don't, that's okay. Just make do with what you have. If you have markers, if you have colored pencil, just use what you have. The most important thing we're going to start with is a pencil and an eraser. I'm using a 2B pencil, and I'm going to draw. As you know, most starfish have 5 points. We call them starfish, but they're not actually fish at all. So the correct name is actually a sea star. They can't be fish because they don't have eyes, they don't have fins. Knocked it up. Okay, here we go. Okay, now this starfish has ridges. So what I'm trying to capture, I'll do it with circles. And I'm going to put white circles along the spine of each ridge. If I go too fast, just pause the video. Okay, now I'm deciding where my light is hitting from. So let's say it's sitting there. I'm going to do a little bit of hatching so I know, alright, this is the darker side. So light's coming from here, this side's darker. Okay, here I come with my reds. I've got 2 reds, they're more or less the same though. Okay, now I'm going to build up the spine. Let's put this. Okay, I've got that shape in the middle. Okay, darker red in my shadowed part. Going around its white circles. This starfish is quite brightly coloured. Okay. Possibly to warn predators that it's not good to eat. Starfish themselves are pretty voracious predators. They walk along, they've got little tentacle feet along the line of each arm. They walk along and they feel, they can't see because they don't have any eyes. They feel, and what they're hunting for is shellfish. So clams, cockles, oysters, and when they find one, now I'm going to do just very light shading with the other colour along the lines I'm trying to suggest. There we go. Now I'm going to do a dark line along the edge to suggest a shadow. Now, what was I saying? When they find a shellfish, they'll settle over it, and right in the middle where its mouth is, they will take their stomach out of their mouth, wrap it around the shell, and their digestive acids will digest what's inside the shellfish. The shell gets left behind, and off they go. They walk around looking for another one. They're actually a very successful species. Okay, here we go. Now, I'm ready for my beach. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to change to yellow, and in the same direction as these lines, I'm going to do lots of lines. You could put as many shells or smaller things on the beach as you wanted. You could put some seaweed. Now I'm going to change to blue. So I want white along the edge. So this is where the sea spray is coming in. So I'm just doing sort of squiggles. And then I'm working my way out. More of these squiggles. Okay, I'm going to leave a space. Start another row of squiggles. And now I'm going to change to a darker blue. So in between these rows, I'm doing some darker blue. Jared says no, indigo. Sorry, Jared, I meant indigo. Okay. Now, this is pretty good, and I'm quite proud of it. So I'm going to put my little NH initials here, H and an N at the same time. So obviously you would put your own initials. Now, this is the technique I wanted to show you. So if you have watercolor paint, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get it super wet. Okay, now I'm going to put my paint along those bits I just wet. What it does is it sort of bleeds into a really nice, subtle effect. I've just created an effect over an undercoat. I might do same, just really subtle in here. Now I'm ready to do exactly the same thing with the sand and with the water. So while these bits dry, I'm going to move nice and far away. Oh, that's bleeding up. And here we go. I'm going to just put a bit of blue along those lines I did before, and the same thing happens. It just bleeds out. Now I'm doing this fast, but if you didn't want this red to mix into the blue, you could just dab it with a tissue. So you can see what I mean. It's a really simple, easy effect that you can do easily with watercolor paint just by working wet on wet. If you don't have watercolor paint, that's okay. Now I'm going to do the sandy color. I really like this wet on wet effect, so I hope if you don't have the right materials, you get a chance to get them, and when you do have them, you'll get to try it. It's super fast and easy. It's meant to be super fast and easy. I'm quite pleased with that. Now, don't forget to post your versions so I get to see them. The last thing I think I might do is get some white. I'm just going to redo those white blobs. I could also do white along the edge where the waves are breaking. What do you think, Jared? Did I do a good job?
Yeah.
Do you have a favourite part?
Yeah.
What's that? Okay, there we have it. The sea star, I suppose it's technically called. Thank you. Which is part of our study of marine biology. Okay, thank you.